Hey, what's up, guys? So, Paula, holy cow, it was a hot one. And the action, man, it didn't disappoint. It did not disappoint. I don't think this is the ideal place for the finale, but doesn't matter. It didn't take away from the action. The action was hot. The temperature was hot. It was badass. Hey, I want to thank everybody for subscribing. You guys have absolutely been crushing it. This channel has grown a ton this season, and I just want to say thank you, guys. I really, really appreciate it. So, without further ado, let's get into this bad boy.
I'm in the empire business.
Everybody love everybody!
You all know exactly who I am.
Guys, Eli Tomac he's still the king. He is the outdoor badass. Seeing him get off the Kawasaki after 2 years of looking lackadaisical outdoors and to show up with a knee injury, fight through that, dial in the bike, and put in the single best performance that I've ever seen in the Outdoor Nationals. And yes, this includes 2 perfect seasons with Carmichael and Stewart. I think this was a better performance because you had another guy who was on the level. I've never seen 2 guys rise to this exceptional level like this. It was unbelievable. This moves him up to second all-time on the list, Eli Tomac. He is right behind Carmichael as the best outdoor riders ever. And I'm judging this on outdoor motocross only. So all you guys say, oh, McGrath. Yeah, if I included Supercross, I'd absolutely put McGrath in there. But this is outdoor only. Tomac has 5 championships, 4 in the 450 class. And I'm not talking about the championships from the early years when they were doing the split series where it was almost like a regional series. They were in 6 rounds and 6 rounds and the 500s and 250s. And guys could really rack up, they could do 2 championships in 1 year, which this isn't the case. He's had to do full 24 moto championships in the modern era. That's hard. That is not easy. So, yeah, pretty impressive. Anyway, Tomac came through clutch. Those days of having Levi or Eli or these weird rides, they're gone. Like, you cannot say this dude is not a pressure rider. He absolutely, you can't put more pressure on this race than there already was. It's unbelievable how much pressure there was. And what he had to go through this week and the previous weeks, he never even showed a hint of folding. He had that one bad moto, but it was only 4th place. And you can chalk that up to bad tire choice. It wasn't the old Tomac where he would just have these weirdo motos. That Tomac's gone. This is the all-time, I mean, it was amazing, guys. What he did was flat out impressive. And if you want to be flat out impressive, check out Steel City Men's Clinic. They offer TRT, red light therapy. They deal with sleep disorders, concussion issues or traumatic brain injuries, libido. If you want to be a rock star for both men and women in the bedroom, hey, hit up Steel City Men's Clinic. They can dial you in. They got me doing some specific stuff. They've got me on human growth hormone to fix my knee or help recover from my complete knee replacement, and it's going great. So they do lots of different therapies there, and they're on the cutting edge. So check out steelcitymensclinic.com. Also, Complete Racing Solutions. Coach Rob is bringing knowledge to people who want to maximize their training effort. If you're a vet rider and you want a program that works around your family, your job, and works with training and gets you dialed in around your schedule, hit up CompleteRacingSolutions.com. Coach Rob's got a program for everybody. He keeps young riders from avoiding mistakes, injuries, burnout. A lot of these amateurs, by the time they get to the pros, they haven't been monitoring their heart rates and giving themselves adequate time to feed themselves, rest themselves, and they're burned out. Coach helps you avoid that. He's got a whole program laid out to build a stronger, more durable athlete. So check out CompleteRacingSolutions.com for that. All right, guys, Chase Sexton. I really hope his efforts this year don't go unremembered or forgotten. Tomac needed him. Tomac needed him to bring out beast mode every week. You can't reach heights this high without 2 guys pushing each other. They both need each other. They both have to have so much respect for the other guy because neither guy bowed down. At multiple times in this series, it looked like past series where a guy wins and breaks the other guy, and then it's over, and then that guy wins the rest of them. When in fact, these guys literally did that to each other multiple times and then bounced back, dug deep. I can't explain to you how hard that is to come back from a guy catching you, passing you, and beating you, to come back the next week, respond, and do that to him. They did this on multiple occasions. That just it shows so much mental, physical. Like I said, we were watching greatness, guys. Just to give you an idea, these guys scored 96% of the available points to them in first and second place. The possible points that you could get if you went 1-2, tallying both first and second, every single moto was 1,128. They scored combined 1,085 points. Okay, and get this. This is in a field with Anderson, who's riding as best as he ever could. And what he did this year was so good. On any other year, he'd be in a title fight. You had Anderson. You had Roxon, who was good. He got a win. That's how awesome these guys were. The only guy missing from this field was Dylan Ferrandis. Every other heavy hitter was in the field and stayed healthy the entire season. It wasn't like, everyone is out and it was just these two guys. These two guys had a field to go through. But they still separated themselves. It was amazing. And Anderson, like I said, he had 2 wins, and on any other season, he'd be in the title fight. It was by far his best outdoor season, and you can't take anything away from him. Roxon, despite physical struggles, battled his ass off every inch of the way. Got a win in Colorado. You can't say, and he was jumping out there, and on normal years, you jump out to the lead that he did, only 1 or 2 guys will catch him. He rode his ass off. And I have to think there's been a lot of talk of him going to these different teams, HEP, Suzuki or KTM, creating a Rocky Mountain KTM, a different Rocky Mountain KTM. But I have to think he's going to be back with Honda. What tells me that is Jett Lawrence has not been asked to ride a 450 in Supercross. I think if Honda didn't think they were going to have Roxon, they would go ahead and ask Jett, hey, we need you to ride 450, because they don't want to bring in some guy that's not going to do well next season in Supercross. They want to have 2 good guys. That's just how Honda is. So I have to think they're going to bring him back at least for 1 more year in Supercross only. So, yeah. Christian Craig, what a solid year. He got a podium at the first round. Rode his ass off at multiple rounds. He's good. Christian Craig is building a lot of momentum. Next year he'll be riding the Rockstar Husqvarna, the new one. They're going to get a factory edition. They won't be riding the piece of crap everyone rode this year. And I expect Christian Craig to have some solid results next year. Is he going to be a title contender? No. But could he win a race? Absolutely. This guy is so talented. Given the right track, the right situation, the right start, you bet Christian Craig could pull down a win. Ryan Dungey. Thank you, Ryan Dungey, for coming back out, scratching that itch. Rumor had it that he was training for Supercross next year. He kind of confirmed that he was, but after Paula, he has announced through, I saw David Pingree did an interview with him, he said he's done. He said if he was going to do it, he was going to do Supercross and outdoors. He doesn't want to just jump in and outdoors. So, unfortunately, that's it for Ryan Dungey. He didn't get the podium that we all wanted, and he was so close on multiple occasions, but you cannot take away. And that's another guy who was in the field. And don't tell me Dungey wasn't good. Dungey was good. It's just the level has gone so high. So, good on Dungey. Thank you for coming back. It was awesome to see you out there. And if he does decide to come back again, I don't think anyone would care. If you want to pull a Tom Brady and retire, unretire, and come right back, it doesn't matter. Please do. Aaron Plessinger salvaged a bad year. He got a couple podiums, and that's all he really needed to do. He needed something to just show he still can be a top guy. He did that, and I expect him next year is really, really important. So this offseason, Plessinger needs to have a good offseason, needs to get this new bike, and he needs to be a contender in 2023. or he's just going to become a Barcia type guy, which is not bad, but I think Plessinger really wants to be a title guy and fight for wins, and I think he can. But next year is going to be the make or break year, in my opinion, if he becomes a top championship contender and race winner, or a guy who is just outside of that, like a Dean Wilson, his career, or, well, I'd say Barcia, but Barcia has won some races. But yeah, Justin Barcia, speaking of Justin Barcia, gosh, I have to say, as far as outdoors goes, he's usually good. He usually gets some moto wins, battles. He did not look good. I don't know if it's the bike. I don't know what the deal is, but I don't expect him. Yeah, he's going to be back with gas next year. I expect him to contend for the opener, which he always does. He'll come out the first few rounds solid, but I almost feel like it looks to me like the fire in Justin Barcia might be dwindling. I could be wrong, but it looks to me like that fire is just kind of dwindling, but we shall see. Joey Savatchi. Oh my God. Great find by Kawasaki to fill in. He came off a torn ACL in Supercross, rushed back, probably way too soon. He probably shouldn't even have been out there. Still came out, rode his ass off, and I believe he's earned himself a shot. I hope Kawasaki can find it in the budget to do 3 bikes next year. Anderson, Cincerillo, Savatchi. He deserves it. He's a great guy to have out there. I think he fits in perfectly with the other 2 riders. So I hope they can find a way to get him out there. If you guys want to make your garage look ridiculously badass and just be the envy of the neighborhood, hit up Epic Garage Designs. They do flooring, slat wall, everything you need to make cupboards. Like they can do custom stuff, colored stuff. You basically build it on a computer and say, that's my garage, and then they put it together for you. So anyway, if you want to look extremely badass, hit up Epic Garage Designs. And now into the 250 class. Jett Lawrence. Okay, it's his season. He has rode like an absolute veteran in this series. He won. That's 2 in a row for him. He will be riding a 450 outdoors. Part of the reason I'm judging why he will not be, or why Roczen will be on Honda and Supercross, is Honda has not asked Jett to ride a 450 in Supercross. And I think if they didn't have Roczen, they would be asking Jett. So anyway, Joe Shimoda. Holy mackerel. Joe has really, this has been a breakout season for Joe. Shimoda. Joe Shimoda. He is, he's consistently a moto winner, and he's got 2 overall wins. He's the only guy that, in my opinion, showed me on certain days he could run with Jett straight up. He's good. He did get done dirty by Hunter Lawrence. My buddy Johnny Hopper did a breakdown video on the whole crash between Hunter Lawrence and Joe Shimoda. I disagree. I got on Hopper. I called him a bit of a hypocrite because Hopper, he kind of let Hunter off the hook. I'm like, how can you trash Barcia for what Barcia did to Ferrandis, but then Hunter, with all the motivation of taking a guy down and getting second in the points, because they wanted it really bad, after he does that, you're going to go ahead and cut him off the hook? Like, what? Like, and if you watch the crash, when he goes right down and he realizes there's contact, Hunter goes straight. What that does is it assures Joe goes down. It assures Hunter does not. He knows he's going to blow the turn, but he also knows he's going to clean out Joe Shimoda. That's what he did. If he had tried to lay it into the turn, there's a chance he goes down. If he tries to ease up contact, there's a chance they both go down. It was a dirty move on all aspects, but it's the end of the year in a tight points battle. But don't disqualify Barcia for something and then look at this Hunter one and go like, I think they're both good moves. But the penalizing is so inconsistent. I don't quite understand that. And if I'm Joe Shimoda, I'm not going to lie. I don't want to be friends with those guys anymore. If they're going to let each other by and try and finagle a second place points out of me by teaming against me, sorry guys, but I'm not going to dinner with you anymore. We're not friends. That ends it. I don't want friends that treat me like that. And I'm Joe Shimoda. I use this as fuel in the off season to come out and absolutely try and smash both Lawrence brothers. Whichever coast he's on, he's going to face one of them. And if I'm Joe Shimoda, I owe Hunter one, and I'm not cutting Jett any slack because of what he said and how mad he was that he wasn't going to let his brother by to get him in points. That would piss me off if I'm Joe Shimoda. So Yeah. Justin Cooper, disappointing season, but he did come in off a horrible foot injury. He had some good runs. Towards the end, he got sick. This whole season could be a success if they win the Des Nations. If J. Coop puts in a good performance at Redbud, everyone will forget this entire season and how horrible it was and all the different issues and that he missed Supercross with the foot injury and that he got sick. All they'll remember is he helped Team USA get back on top. So good luck with that, J. Coop. We're behind you. RJ Hampshire, perennial threat in the 250 class. He got the parts he wanted, and as soon as he did, he became a contender. He got a race win. He'll be a perennial guy in the 250 class. So, yeah, look for him. Max Volan did exactly what he needed to do. He built a foundation. He rode really good. He didn't get that breakout podium ride, but he's close. And he's got that foundation, and the next step is to do that. So next year, I look for him to become from, top 5 to 10 to top 5. Seth Hamaker, he kind of did the same thing, but he's been a contender in Supercross, but he proved he can ride outdoors too. So I look for good things from him in 2023. Nate Thrasher, RJ Hampshire 2.0. I don't know. Could win, could ride around in 15th. I have not got a clue. Yeah. Michael Mosman and Pierce Brown both had seasons they'd probably forget. But I reached out to Tyler Keefe. They're both back in 23. And I think they're both guys that have a lot of potential that did not realize it this year. Mosman got that one moto win, but they both had a lot of mistakes. And the bike they're riding this year, let's face the facts, it had problems. So maybe when they get that new version, they'll do a lot better and have a better season. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. That's your Paula wrap-up, your season wrap-up. And I will catch you guys later. Once again, I want to thank everybody for making this channel grow the way it has. The subscribers have gone way up. The views have gone way up. And I appreciate it. And we're that much closer to doing this thing full time. So yes, I'm having sponsors, but I'm trying to keep it to where it's not just a great big sponsor read for the podcast. I'll throw them in at the end. And we're bringing on EBC in October. So the future's bright, guys. Thank you very much.